Hey, everybody, you are watching and listening to the We Are Rising podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin. Got with me very special guest, one of my second favorite podcast, JAMMA podcast in the world. Number one is my, no, just kidding, but number two, of the host of the Yamato Damashi with Ensign Inoue, Jim Ozeki. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A little tired. It's quite late here. It's midnight night now after a 5 a.m. start, but I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm looking forward to talk Rising with you.
Great, great. Let me just quickly go over paying the bills. Podcast sponsored by by Shroom Bar. Please use code WAR at the bottom for 25% off your first order. These are healthy protein bars you can use for your pre-workout, post-workout, or just a yummy snack. And I've eaten all mine, so I cannot show you what they look like, but they are good. I can assure you that 100%. Go to eatshroombar.com, use code WAR, check out for 25% off your first order. Okay, so 10 years of Ryzen. So, did you think Ryzen was gonna last this long, Jim? Or were you one of those,
Ooh.
oh, they're gonna one day just they're remember when that was like the talking point of Reddit for like a while?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna like go, that they're running out of money, that they're gonna go out of business.
Oh yeah, and it's happened like multiple times if you think about it, right? Because
Yes.
during
Yes.
COVID was like a huge one where people thought like, "Oh, this is it, it's done." When they got kicked off Fuji TV, that was another moment. There's
Well, I
been,
also remember hearing about the Floyd Mayweather thing because, like, oh, well, they spent all their money on Floyd. Obviously,
yeah,
that means they're gonna have no more money forever and ever. So,
oh, it's never
yeah.
true.
So, what do you think? Well, yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you think Liza will last this long?
I'm quite an optimistic person, so I did, but it was hard to imagine what it would look like, I think. And it looks very, very different now than when it did when it first started. But I think that's a good thing because when it first started, and I've been rewatching a little bit from the first 2015 show, but also 2016, 2017, and it was almost a lot of it was like pride nostalgia, but trying new things. And now we're like way past that, right? It's like a whole different era, I think. Like pride is is a very, very distant memory. So it's yeah, I think it's in a good place now. But if you had asked me 10 years ago, what do you think Ryzen looks like? I would not have said this version of what Ryzen is right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Um, how do I? Well, first off, let me get oh yes, this is. I wanted. We'll soon be going over like our best stuff, so I just want to get that on camera. So, King Seal made this for us to talk about like best fights and all that stuff. Anyway, oh, but before I go and answer that, you have a question for you, Jim. This is from our friend for Hata-san. He wants to know: is Ozeki your last name? Are you a Hafu?
I am not a Hafu. No, no. It's funny actually because people often say that. Someone thought I was Polish as well.
I remember. I think I
No, it was
remember. I
you.
thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
your actual last name.
yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
it was you. Yeah, you thought it
No,
was
it
like a
was me because
Polish
I thought that
surname.
was your actual last name.
No, 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 no. It's not. No, I just went. I think I was watching a lot of sumo at the time, and I was just like, well, I'm not, top rank, so we'll go, we'll go the one underneath. And then yeah, it just kind of became just something to go by, to be honest. But a lot of people, especially in this world, call me Jim Ozeki, which is funny. But I'm cool with it.
I
But
don't
no, not
think.
happy.
Oh, I think Jim Yokozuna does not really like roll off the tongue that
No,
well. I
no.
don't think. Uh. Oh, and this would be your kanji if that was your actual last name.
That's badass. I like that.
Curious to know, does what does Ensign call you? I'm just curious. Does he ever call you Ozeki, or he just calls you?
So and no, 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 no. Ensign calls me James, which is like my full name.
I've heard them say that on the podcast sometimes. I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
James.
But then sometimes they'll call me Jim. Recently
Mhm,
I've been saying to people just call me Jim now, just because
mhm,
most people know me as Jim. But I have a lot of different
mhm.
nicknames from friends outside of, you know.
Yeah. Oh, but sorry, going back to your question. So I never thought that Ryzen would kind of go in the direction that it currently is. I always when Ryzen first started, it was it felt less of kind of like it was like more felt like a gathering of people from other organizations to kind of fight here. And I never thought that Rise would kind of become like, I guess, its own promotion, if
It's
that
like
makes sense.
yeah. It's like Ryzen now feels like a brand, right? Like whereas
Yeah,
definitely back then it was like you say, a collection of
yeah.
fighters and
I thought
like
we'd be
almost
getting like a yearly Grand Prix, all that
yeah.
stuff. I thought they were gonna not go the route of like belts for quite a while because it seemed like they
Mm,
weren't gonna do that. But now it feels like an actual, yeah, like you said, a brand. Like it has its own identity almost as a
yeah,
promotion.
definitely right. I think that's something they've done really well, right? Over the years, they've actually established themselves. What do you think was the biggest turning point that did that?
Ooh, good question. I think they were planning to go that route anyway. I'm not so sure when, but I think probably around, I think it seems like 2018, 2019 was when they were kind of shifting to that. Remember when Obara was talking about the 3 arrows, the 3 arrow plan? Do you remember that? Where they would
Hmm.
have like the 10 pole show, kind of like the medium sized show, and then the smaller show. And that's kind of what they're doing now. And I kind of think that they like, I think they kind of were like trying to establish like an audience, a regular audience, and seeing, what was sticking, what was clicking, all that stuff. And I think that's when I think 2018, 2019 really was like the shift of that. I think it would have happened sooner without COVID. Um, Actually, probably sped up even more because they couldn't bring any from anybody else from any other
Hmm.
organization. So probably COVID probably sped it up a lot faster, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think COVID changed a lot of things for them, particularly obviously
Mm.
like distribution as well, right? Like that played a
Oh yeah.
part. Um,
Just want to give a shout out, Chris Cushman, always here in the chat. Appreciate it, Chris. The
what's
fucking
up?
boys. By the way, we can curse on YouTube now within like the first minute now. So apparently, so yeah.
Oh, really? Did not know that.
Yes. Yeah. Which is great for Ensign. Which is great for Ensign, by the way.
He likes to
um.
cut.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah.
Who
What?
doesn't?
How did so? Did you watch? So when you did you watch the first show when it came out, or did you
Yes.
like watch? Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah. So I watched the first show when it came out. So just yeah, for those that don't know, I've been following MMA for at least 20 years. No, longer than that. 20, 22, 23 years. Right around like 2004, I think, was when I first started watching MMA. I'm that old. Uh, and yeah, when Ryzen came along, it was like, oh, the talk of Fedor in Japan. And if you remember, it was real like nostalgia push. And it was
Yes.
like Saki Kabara can finally promote again and all of those
Mhm.
news stories that we're hitting. And I was trying to remind myself as well, like what was going on in like the wider MMA world. And it was such a long time ago now. I know we say like 10 years, but almost 10 years doesn't sound like,
Well,
but
yeah,
it was,
I could. I remember that it was Connor. It was like Connor
yeah,
like Mania or
Conor
something like that.
Aldo was this like same month as the
Mhm.
December show, right? You had
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey was still
Yes.
competing,
Yeah.
losing to Holly Holm, same like towards the end of 2015. So that just feels like such in the MMA history landscape. That feels so
It
long
was still
ago.
on pay per view. UFC was still on pay per view at the time. I think.
Yeah,
Well, pay per view for us. Sorry, pay per view for us.
it still is now, right? Until the
Um.
end of the year, isn't it not?
I mean, so like traditional pay per view, not
Oh, it's okay.
ESPN
Not
fake.
ESPN
Yeah.
Plus, and yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
they
this?
they
Chris
went
Cushman
bought,
was a
right?
was it? Yeah, Chris Cushman was a junior in high school. No, it wasn't. It was only 5 years ago, 2015. It was only 5 years ago, of course. Um. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Bellator was kind of just there. It was on
Yeah,
Spike. I
they
think it
were.
was still on Spike though. I think it was still on Spike, or I think it was still by Spike TV at the time.
Yeah, I think they were still on Spike, and they were definitely number two, right, at that time. Who else could you call number two? No, because you had World Series of Fighting before your
Yes.
beloved PFL.
Yes.
Uh, Yeah, it must be Bellator. Like, who else? So I think that was part of the reason, like,
Uh,
the real excitement,
yeah.
right, with Rizin was like, "Whoa, okay, are we gonna get, like, a new player in the market?"
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's in, with the whole nostalgia thing, I think they
Mhm.
were still able to capitalize. I think there were still fans, I guess, should I say fans of Pride? I think there were still fans of Pride. Like there was still a lot of
Yeah.
fans of
Yeah.
Pride at the time. And I don't want to say that there's still people that are fans of Pride that are not watching, but I feel like it's a newer audience now as well that are
Oh,
watching.
1,000%. It's like Jay Wolf and me and you. Maybe like no, I'm joking. There's a few people that watch Pride and watch Rizin, but the majority probably either have gone back and watched Pride. Um, but that's not a bad thing. They've done a good job of getting in a new audience. Like,
Yeah.
as we say, it's a completely different product.
Mm.
Um, and it's cool. I really enjoy like seeing some of the people that are newer to Ryzen, like some of the content they're creating and stuff like that. Is starting, I think, starting to take off a little bit.
It's it's been interesting because I do think that people are getting UFC fatigue now, especially. I feel
I would
like
agree.
a lot of UFC fatigue is really. Listen, they're gonna have people that will never watch anything besides UFC. I'm sure it's the same people who will never who it's like who will never unless it's Manchester United, they won't watch any other football game. I guess I don't know what analogy I could put to another sports.
Like you said, football.
Football, yes. Yeah. So I think it's I think that's also why because remember there was a time where Ryzen was getting a lot of attention. A lot. I would like the Mayweather era
Yeah.
attention. Kyoji Horiguchi. They were I don't want to say that Reddit is hard evidence, but if you look at the comments for like the threads, they were in the hundreds, especially for the New Year's Eve show.
Oh, I mean, I had friends that don't watch MMA, like, or very, very casual MMA fans talk to me about Tension and Mayweather, right? That was
Mhm.
like mainstream, the amount of people that were talking about that. Partly
Yeah.
because it was like Mayweather just beat up this kid, like,
Yeah.
and the
But
crime,
also, it
like,
was the first time Mayweather returned to kickboxing, so the newsworthiness of was like, what?
yeah,
Really?
and my God, did it kick off a trend, right? Of exhibition
That's
bouts.
uh. At least Ryzen was the first to do it. I can at least say like, okay, you were the first to do it, so I'll
If it
give
had
him
to
a
come
pass.
anywhere, right?
Oh, sorry.
Like, I said, if it had to be anywhere, right? It's got to start in Japan.
It's gotta start, but then like it's it's been clearly like I think that bubble burst a long time ago. I
Yeah,
think I only think the only reason why it's still around is because money marks are keeping it around, possibly.
I mean, you mentioned UFC fatigue, but influencer fatigue is real
Oh,
for sure.
100%. 100%. Dirty boxing or whatever it's called.
Uh, yeah.
Actually, we're seeing the same thing with Breaking Down in Japan as well. There's
Mm.
definitely I Breaking Down is still popular, but definitely has lost a lot of its luster. And I'm sure Ensign. I think you and Ensign talked about that on a
Yeah, we do.
podcast.
We do cover quite a bit on Breaking Down, just because he's got quite a few fighters that are in Breaking Down. And it's interesting. I think Breaking Down has a huge influence on Ryzen and
Mm,
the industry in general, right? Because you're
yes.
seeing these guys become huge stars in Breaking Down, like bigger. Just the views that these videos get, and they still get a lot of views, right? We're still talking millions of views for auditions.
Yeah.
Um, and they are even like doing more crowds at some of the events when they do the actual event shows where they do
Mhm,
all the
mhm.
fights. But it's definitely, yeah, it's not as, I think there's only so many times you can do it right as well. Like
Mhm.
these I mean, it is the same concept. Someone comes in, they got a problem. They want to fight someone, and then
Some
there
tattooed
you go.
fuck from Osaka, former Yakuza. They throw the chair at them.
Yeah,
They curse in Japanese. They try to separate them, and it's
lots of
like,
R
yeah,
rolling.
yes, oh, lots of R's. Oh
Yeah,
no, oh no! You just hear that,
yeah,
just all that comes out.
yes, yeah. I mean, it's quite hard to watch, right? For us for anyone
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
can't
speak
watch it
Japanese.
until they upload
Yeah,
it to
like
YouTube.
we
I've
do
tried.
sometimes put the English subtitles, but it can take quite a while on some of
Yeah,
the audition videos. And every time I've watched it, it's always been pretty enjoyable, right?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, going back to what I said though, massive
yeah,
influence on Ryzen, and that's kind of
yeah.
see where I think where I think they're increasing in popularity, right? Is that you talk about UFC fatigue is because it's like a complete alternative. It's completely different to anything else you can watch in the MMA landscape, right? Where it's more story driven, but it's not pro wrestling. So it's, they go with the story naturally, like when they
Mhm,
promote the fights. And this is something that's been going on in Japanese MMA for quite a while, right? Like it's got Saki Kabara's prints all over it, but they'll talk about the losses that a fighter's had, right? They won't shy away from
mhm,
it. So the full story going into these fights, and it's not kind of hidden that this guy's lost. So I think people are gravitating more towards it, to be honest, because it's a completely different approach to anything else that's out there right now.
mhm. Um. So, and Chris Crushman, I'm assuming to what you said is agreed with that. Um,
Appreciate that.
what would you say your favorite? So I think it's very easy. I think we can classify Ryzen as different eras. We have
Yes.
like, I guess the starting, the beginning era, which is, I would say, those two shows, and then if you want to count maybe their first year up until the open weight tournament, maybe that's,
Mhm.
you can count that. The Fight TV era. Uh, what the fuck was it called? Go Fight, the Live Now era.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Go live now, was
COVID
it?
era. I feel like, or just the overall COVID era.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I guess the restart era, almost the restart era after COVID was officially ended by Joe Biden at the Detroit Auto convention in 2023. Um, and I guess I don't know if I don't know which of this era. I don't know whatever this era is called. I don't know whatever. What,
Mm.
what do you think would you call this era?
I don't want to say the breaking down era, but like the uh
Should we call it
Mikuru's
the Hiroya
comeback.
era? Should we call it the Hiroya era?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely seems to be quite a key direction, right? Uh
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
I feel sorry, go
uh,
on.
well, okay. How about the Japanese call it the Reiwa era? How about we call it Reiwa era,
Go
just to
for it.
make it
Go for it.
easier. What would you say? So, was your favorite time period block of Ryzen?
It's very difficult. I was thinking about that actually before, when we were talking about doing this show, right?
Mm,
And like, maybe it's recency bias, but I want to say now. But there are certain things from eras that I really did like tension was always like every time there's a tension fight, it was always just really exciting. Like because they mixed it up as well with what he was doing, with the rules, how
mm-hmm.
many people he was fighting.
Yeah.
Was a really cool time. I got to be honest, I never loved the Crow Cop open weight. Like, I mean, it was all right, but yeah, I know that's a controversial one, right? But I've enjoyed more seeing like Koji and Ashizawa like go back and forth. I feel like there's been
Mhm.
a lot more beefs, right? Probably
Yeah.
since the breaking down influence, we've seen a lot more personal rivalries. Because in Ryzen now, you've almost got like quite a lot of legit fighters, right? You've got your Satoshis and your Klebers and your Chihiros and your Horiguchis and all of like the fighters that would do reasonably well in other promotions. And then you've got like this whole other level of guys, like your Hagiwaras and your Yarmans and your Uh, who else were you thinking? Who else am I thinking of? Mikuru's and
Mm.
Ren Hiromoto, a classic example, right? And then sometimes they blend together, which is really cool. And especially like now when people are seeing Mikuru like make his comeback and he's getting these wins, I think it does make it exciting, right? When you've got these guys that talk like gangsters and want to talk loads of smack talk, and then can they actually deliver against some of the legit fighters? So for me, this is definitely now like my favorite time of Ryzen. But what about you?
So I might have some in-person bias. I went to the two open weight Grand Prix shows 2016, and I love those two shows. They're two of my favorite memories of like any MMA show in general. It's if I ever had the opportunity to maybe go to a Pride show, that would probably like be the closest. That was when Ryzen was still doing like the electrical ring Medus
I
from the
will
bot. Mhm.
I will say that like right. See, I'm the same, right? Where if you ask me what my favorite Ryzen show is, it's probably
Mhm.
Ryzen versus Bellator because I was there live
Mhm.
for the big one on New Year's Eve, not the the second one. We won't talk about that. But
Okay.
the actual one where Bellator went 5-0, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
again, there was Pride vibes because they played the Pride theme song right
Yes.
before they went. I don't know if that was on the live broadcast, but it like in the building they I think yeah, it probably
The
was, right? It was on the
live broadcast? What are you
oh,
talking
yeah,
about?
sorry.
I mean, the
Yeah,
tape
yeah.
delay broadcast,
Forgot that's a
Mr.
sore
Ozeki.
subject, right? I totally missed out on all that because I
Yes.
was there live. But um, yeah, we did that whole show was just it was nuts to be honest. Like it was my first like, live experience of Ryzen,
Mhm.
and it's almost like this is such a horrible like analogy, but I'm gonna say it's almost like having a kid. Everyone tells you it's great, but then
Yeah.
when you get there, it's like a different level. And that's kind of what like going to Ryzen Live was. Everyone tells you like, oh, the sound is amazing and everything, but when you're actually there, like it's incredible. Like inside Saitama Super Arena, seeing all the entrances, um, yeah, it's just something special.
Mhm. Um, what year was that again? Was that late 2023 or was that 2022? I don't remember.
That was December 31st, 2022.
Okay, that's okay. Gotcha. Okay. Um, I think also about that show because remember, like after they lost the Fuji TV deal, it looked like a lot of the production values were going down. So when that show came about, it felt like okay, it was kind of like okay, this feels like an old Ryzen show, because that was one thing that CJ and I would always talk about was that it's that there was definitely a clear downgrade after they lost that Fuji TV thing, which makes sense because I'm sure that
Yeah.
Fuji TV was helping to bankroll that or whatever money that they got from them. I'm sure went into the production. So when I when that show came about, it felt like oh okay, we're kind of getting back on track. And then Otoko Matsuri put up was
Oof.
basically that on steroids.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. It's funny though because
um,
we were talking earlier, right, about like moments when people say like, "Oh, Ryzen is not going to be around longer," and losing 5-0 in Bellator. There's a lot of people saying that, right? Well, that was
yeah,
more Western fans, I think. I think most Japanese fans
yeah,
like enjoyed it a
yeah.
lot, right?
We
And even
we're the
saw
only
how well the guys did.
Western fans have this weird obsession with
Records.
the finances of
Oh yeah,
games.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's here's what we're obsessed with. We're obsessed with sports betting and finances. And I get the first one. I don't get the second one. I want the fighters to get paid, obviously. I think we could both agree on that. We don't want them to get fucked over or whatever. But if a promotion is like hemorrhaging money, I don't care that one is hemorrhaging money. Are they putting on shows and are the fighters getting paid? That's what matters most. It sucks that they're benching fighters, but you're putting on shows. Okay? Like it's I just don't know why we're so obsessed with like, they must not be making money. They're gonna go out. It's a weird thing. I don't hear Japanese fans ever talk about that shit ever.
yeah. They wouldn't, right? And I I would
Do
recommend
people
people
do
not.
do like people who hate Manchester United always say, "Oh, Manchester United is." I always just use them as an example because they're the only football team I know. Do people speculate on their finances who are like footy fans or Liverpool or something? Do they just go like, "Oh, they're gonna be going out of business"?
Yeah, I mean, football funding is like a whole another topic. Like
Oh,
I
I
don't
had a
know,
feeling.
because you've got like a lot of people that have bought clubs. Like, hey, Tony Khan, right? Bought Fulham.
Yes.
Didn't he? So yeah, that's a whole like that might not be the best example to use, but I would say to
Well, you
people,
hear of
don't
AEW as well. Remember when AEW is gonna be? We still hear that to this day that AEW is gonna go out of
yeah,
business.
I know it's
That's a
crazy,
problem.
right?
I should have used that example. Probably, I really should have used
That's
that.
yeah. I think the only thing I'd say is that like Rizin Finance, just don't try and get your head around it. Okay, yeah, because who
It's
knows who's
not my.
funding it?
I
Like,
always
who knows
say it's
what
not my
great
money.
sponsors they've got?
I always say if it's not my money, I don't give a shit. That's just how it is.
Exactly right. So just enjoy it for what it's worth. If they buy Floyd Mayweather for another 100 million, don't worry about it because someone's gonna fund it.
Well, yes. Now, if they bring
And that's
Floyd
happened
back,
twice.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully not a third time. We're gonna
Time's
get
a
into a
charm.
question that Chris has, but for Hatasan said on tension Mayweather, same day of the press conference, all tickets sold out. That's what he said. And then Chris has a question for us. All those fighters who were released from one, do you see any coming to Rizin? Do you happen to know the names of those fighters? Because I have them right here. Jim.
I don't have the list. If you got the list,
Okay.
shoot.
So the fighters are kickboxer Alexis Nicholas, MMA fighters Reese McLaren, Elise Anderson, and Ahmed Mujtaba, and Muay Thai fighter Cody Jerome. I know that there was just a guy who was released from one. I think he was Dagestani or Russian who just signed with UFC, so he's off the list. But of these four, let's say, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names. Do you think anyone comes to Rizin? I can already tell you, four of them will not probably.
Yeah, I probably agree with that assessment, right? Like, I think Rizin's all about the characters, right? And they almost like when it comes to foreign fighters, right? It's not they're not looking for a lot of them. So, they want one or two to pepper them in, but it's not what the audience wants to see, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Well, I say the majority of the audience is in the Japanese audience. I don't think they're. I think the Japanese fans of one are watching the one Japan shows when there's fighters that are relevant to them, right? Outside of that, I don't know how much they're keeping up with the regular one product.
So, out of all these, the only one who has any sort of chance is Reese McLaren. He was bantamweight, which I think is flyweight. I believe in one because one does a thing where they
do the hydration testing and all that.
Elise Anderson was atom weight for them, which is straw weight. Here's the thing: I don't see them bringing any straw weights over that are that are incredibly competitive. And I'm gonna say this right now: I think Machi and Izawa are getting that you will get a favorable matchup with them versus somebody who's like is Elise Anderson a world beater? No, she is not, but she is. I think you put her up against Machi or Izawa, I think she creams them both, to tell you the truth, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the easiest way to get into Rizin is probably take a bit of a pay cut, go to a deep or a Shuto or a Pancrase, make a bit of a name there, and then get you a shot, right?
Well, also don't forget, being on UFC, being from UFC or or Dana White Contender Series or Road to UFC as well is like the quickest way to Rizin. But and now the kickboxing Muay Thai people, no, they're not coming. Like because there's
I don't see that.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, kickboxing. I don't. So with Anpo going to one, I don't know if I don't know if that's going to be. I don't think we're going to get any more big kickboxing matches. To tell you the truth, anymore. Rise. We're just going to get those regional Hoos Cup versus New Japan Kick Federation. We may get some people from Rise, but I don't think there's gonna be any more of those big kick matches anymore.
What?
Kimura's in K1,
Mm.
so
Well,
uh,
yeah, I mean that's a topic in itself, right? With
yeah,
K1 now, I thinking of doing Heroes, and
yeah,
although
which they
that
should
that
not.
MMA debut
They should
was
not.
something, right?
They should not. They should drop
Yeah,
Heroes immediately.
we need to talk about that Cena fight.
Uh,
No, I think where are we going with this? My brain's gone blank. It's too late.
Sorry, we were talking about what was
Oh
talking.
no, no, I know what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Ampo. What
Yes.
what do you think of Ampo's decision to sign with One?
Well, I think he would have gone to one earlier. Remember when he posted that like that glove or that belt from one, and
Yeah.
then immediately he got the Pacquiao fight? I am convinced that that was basically his way of saying because that was when Chihiro got injured,
Yeah.
and then he then like posts a picture of one, and I think that was kind of like his way of like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go to one if I don't get my shit," and that's Pacquiao. So, I think he was. I don't want to say destined to go to. I think he was going to go to one anyway, but I think getting him the Pacquiao fight stalled that. Quite honestly.
Yeah. No, I
Also, okay,
agree.
here's the thing. So he said he did. Well, first of all, at first I thought he said he was going to MMA. I could have swore he said that. I
Mhm.
am. I thought he
Yeah,
was
he
going.
did. Said
Okay.
he was gonna be an MMA fighter now, right? And he was gonna train MMA. Obviously, the last fight didn't go too well for him, but
I don't know if that's a new thing. So whenever freelance Japanese pro wrestlers would say, whenever they would leave their company and say they're going freelance, that was usually code for them going to WWE or New Japan. So I don't know if kickboxers now saying I'm going to MMA is now code for I'm going to one
one.
now.
Jesus. I don't know.
But
I
like
mean,
the Kimura fight wasn't going to happen, right? Because he's in K1, he's in the tournament. That's a fight that was kind of like should have happened.
mm,
Um, I don't know. I don't know what Buakaw's doing. They could have done the Buakaw rematch. It's there's really like he was levels above so everybody else when it came to kickboxing. It would that was the problem with tension when he would have his fights in Ryzen. It was just you saw how above the opponents that he was facing.
I
So
want.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I wonder if he explored K1, right? Because Ensign was telling me that when he's been negotiating deals for Satari,
Mhm.
it was like a whole different approach. You hear the horror stories of K1, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it seems like there's a whole like new management there, team. They're looking to do business.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he heard them out
Well,
or what happened there.
I don't know because here's the thing: we don't see anybody going back. Kimura, I'm sure doesn't have a lot of options. So you know, yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see because it's kind of like going back to an abusive relationship. It's like, do you trust these people enough to do
True,
it?
true. Yeah,
You see all of your
good point.
brethren going to this one place.
Mm,
That's kind of like the history of also Japanese pro wrestling. Everybody
mm.
leaves and goes to like one other place. They
It's
just follow
almost
each
like
other.
it's almost like the news of like the one contracts doesn't hit Japan though. Like, do you know what I
Oh
mean?
no,
Like
that's yeah. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Isn't it kind of like when you've talked to like fighters who fight in deep, and you tell them like, oh, about deep, they probably seem surprised, right?
mhm.
It's just so funny how like, yeah, I don't think it gets over there, quite
Just
honestly.
yeah, probably not because the amount of Japanese fighters that signed to one, and I'm sure like Chachi probably gives them a hell of a sales pitch, right?
Oh yeah,
He's a
yeah.
decent salesman, but um, I don't know. You just hear the stories of people being locked up, and then you see press conferences with Chachi
Also,
shitting on Japan and Japanese kickboxing.
with all
I'm
due
like,
respect,
why do these guys want to go over there?
with all due respect to Ampo, I've heard he's not the smartest tool in the shed. He mightn't know about it, but
Mm.
here's the thing. So is either well, like, who is he going to fight in Ryzen though? That's the other thing.
Yeah, there's that, right? But
So,
then they're creative, man. They put some creative fights together.
mhm.
So,
uh,
they'll find him someone.
so actually, kind of let's connect this to 10 years of Ryzen as well. What do you
Mhm.
think about them doing kickboxing? What do you think?
Mm,
I'll say the non. How about them doing the non MMA stuff? Do you think it's something that they should continue to do? Should it just be MMA? What or
no, I don't. I think it should be. predominantly MMA, but when you've got big time attractions, do a kickboxing fight or do a mixed tag grappling match that they've done, right? Like I
We should do that
like
again.
that stuff because I think the fact that they do that stuff, it makes them different and people want to
Yeah.
tune in to see something different. Like
Yeah.
don't be UFC light, it's not
Yeah.
gonna work. Like the stuff they're doing is good. You need that kind of, I call it the Saki Kabara magic, right? Like, those crazy exhibition bouts where people scratch their head and go like, oh,
Yeah.
did that work? And then fight comes around and you're
Yeah.
on the edge of your seat because you bought into it. Yeah, I'd say keep them up. I never get into like the undercard kickboxing bouts that they put on. Like sometimes they're good fights, but I just
They
forget.
go one in one ear out the other a lot.
Exactly. I love it when I watch you guys do the previews, and it's like, well, you usually send what's his name, Mike, to go, and he's like doing his research on it. Fair play.
Anything with because he'll actually do research and stuff that I cannot be bothered to do because
because the guys might never appear on the card again, right? So I don't blame you.
Yeah, and then when you try to find footage of them, it's either stuff that's clipped or there's nothing or because so many Japanese have like similar. Oh, or if they go by like one singular name, Kenta. Okay, great, wonderful. Kenta, Kenta kickboxer, and then or Kento kickboxer. You know, Kento Haraguchi comes up. No, I do not want Kento Haraguchi. I wanted Kento, whatever. Yeah. So
good. To tie it back even the topic, right? Though, if you actually think of some of the biggest Rizin moments, Mayweather, obviously, we can't talk about it, but Mayweather tension was huge. Haraguchi and tension was like a big deal, right?
That's still that was still the big. I think that's still the best like crossover, match. Of whatever we want to call it, of skills of all time. I thought like Haraguchi was gonna win. I did the what's his name? Robin, who's the commentator guy, the guy who said that Conor was gonna knock out
Robin Black.
I pulled the Robin Black. I was like, Haraguchi's gonna beat him. He's gonna beat tension.
God, yeah, that guy. That was brilliant at the time when that happened.
Yeah,
it made me like buy into it, I think.
I like that. I would definitely have to say, I think I think an underrated moment is a TK retirement.
Oh, classic! Yes.
Because it's I wish Crow Cop, if the pandemic didn't happen, I'm hoping Crow Cop would have gotten it because he retired after that stroke and it was during the pandemic. But I mean, they did it for Ishiwatari when he retired. Who else? I'm trying to think of who else
they do loads of classy stuff, man, right? They did the Kai send off.
Kana as well.
Kana.
Yeah. I don't like the Kai send off. I've already given my thoughts on the Kai thing, but I get what you're saying. I get.
We have different opinions on that, but it was classy. Whatever you say. When Gucci got married.
Oh yes,
classy as well.
Ogakubo when he won the Grand Prix and then proposed to his wife in the ring. Yes.
Lots of family feels, man. It's good. It's
because they let the moments happen themselves.
It's organic, right?
It's organic. Yes, it doesn't feel. I also feel because they're not married to television right now, or for a lot of they can get away with that stuff. They can just let things go on, kind of, and
it's probably the one criticism I have of them actually is like do more. Like I would love to see them because I think when they're creative, they're like their shows are just great. And like if you look at all the VTRs and stuff that Sato makes, they're just incredible, right? Like when there was that survey that Rizin TV put out, I don't know if you got the email.
I got that.
That was like my big thing. Like just make more content. Like do like make like reality shows or something. Just try some new things. I know obviously Hafid's there doing like a good job, man. He's
I would want to say that, no, before we only got the Rizin Confessions subtitle. Now they're doing subtitles for the preparation stuff.
Yeah. That's good.
Some of the other stuff is getting subtitled. I know that I think Charlie didn't. I think they had Michael Schiavello kind of doing like a
Yeah, they did. They
yeah,
did.
they had that.
He was doing something as well. So they're definitely dipping their foot in the waters.
But
Um,
remember actually, so I don't know if you remember this on Twitter. They were doing like kind of like these
oh, I know what you're gonna
mock
say.
English interviews with the fighters and like having them speak English. Do you remember that? They did it with Noah Bay Noah,
Yeah,
Dark Shirakawa, and I'm trying to remember who else. Yeah. So
that's
they
not
were
what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say they were doing the whole like the skits with Barra,
oh
like
that's
what
yes, that too in the
they
boardroom. I
they were
wanted yeah,
amazing.
yes,
Give us
that
more of that.
yeah, remember when they called Karshiga? They
Yeah,
called Karshiga, who
yeah,
was not
yeah.
Hafid, by the way, who was
Yeah.
not Hafid on the phone, I can assure you. Yeah,
There's
when
just
they
yeah, I think they should do more of that, like do Rizin TikTok or something. Do you know what I mean? Just like put
yes.
something out there or um
Do you think so? Here's an interesting thing. I remember I talked to King Seal about this. If TikTok was as big if TikTok was a thing between like let's say 2015 to 2018, when like Ryzen was doing Bob Sapp versus Osunarashi, Gabby Garcia, Gabby Garcia apology. Do you think that Ryzen could have had like the weird viral moments that like one gets? If social media was, I'm not saying that social media was not a thing, but like now it's
it's
like so
different.
ever
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
present.
Everyone's like focused on engagement, right? Like
Yes.
you should make
Yes.
this thumbnail. What's going on?
Yes.
Because that's the focus, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, but part of me is like they could do it now. Do you know what I mean? They could literally just do that whole like angle. I just don't think it's them. I don't think it's their brand. I don't think they like to follow. I think they like to sort of set the trends rather than follow them.
It's
Because they
also
could literally do like his Gabby Garcia beating the crap out of Hota, like
yeah,
the 50-plus-year-old Japanese pro wrestling
because even
legend. So
Joe Rogan even talked about that on his show.
yeah, there's so much like potential viral content. Flowergate, for instance, like
Flowergate, yes, yeah,
classic. Like that clip of just him just chucking the flowers down at
yeah.
Mayweather, like could have blown up.
Another favorite mode of mine. Another favorite mode of mine. I love
I've
that.
got that in something I want to discuss with
And
you.
then Barra bowing down at the press conference as well.
Yes, yeah.
Uh,
There's there's a lot of stuff they could do. I think maybe it comes back to like a creative directive because we know that like Sato doesn't put subtitles right on like
yeah,
certain pieces of video footage because he doesn't want it to be changed.
yes.
So yeah, it's hard to speculate, right?
Well,
We'll see.
also, I think I'm gonna kind of just narrow this down. It's also a Japanese company, and Japanese companies are still
Mm,
afraid of social media to a
mm.
degree. I mean, God forbid you put a clip of Ryzen on, say, a intro video, and then gets not could get demonetized or copyright striked or whatever, or God forbid 2 seconds of the Ryzen theme gets heard on a live stream of you covering a show and it gets copyright stricken somehow. So yeah,
Personal experience.
maybe personal experience
Hey,
or
I've
GIF
tested the waters
or
too.
GIF or GIF.
I do. I don't know. Maybe whether it's because it's Ensign's channel or what, but I've like tested the waters a few times where I've clipped a bit of
Maybe you have
Ryzen.
the Ensign protection because nobody wants to fuck with Ensign. I don't have that.
I'm not joking. That could be a thing. Like
I don't have that. I don't have Ensign privilege.
I could legit see that being a thing. Like why nothing has been flagged.
So,
We don't want to upset him.
so I guess we talked about. I guess we was kind of best moments. I want to know what you like. What are some of like things the worst or moments that you like? Oh God, no.
Ooh.
Like I would say like if I'm gonna compare it to like like UFC, like I know a lot of people like gate through the
Oh,
bus
okay,
like
okay, okay.
that. People absolutely hated that, as well as Khabib double foot stomping whoever it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, that was just
Well,
wasn't
like,
really
was there any moments that were like I don't want to say make you that you hated, that you made you embarrassed, or Clearly didn't like. There was no like go away heat from you. But like, is there anything that's just like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's like if I think of that sort of stuff, it's more like particular fights or
Why was it the heavyweight Grand Prix?
I mean, heavyweight Grand Prix is definitely up there, right? Like, oh man, that's a stain that won't go away. Unfortunately, there's only one person that seems to enjoy that Grand Prix, and he's not on this podcast today. Probably, I mean, like, I just think of like some of the Ushiku fights and stuff like that. Like, what? Yeah.
Do you bring that up because you got announced for Deep in November?
Yeah, right. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this guy. But yeah, just like that. I remember Ushiku versus Mikuru in particular, where like Ushiku was like pulling guard and stuff, and it was like, what the fuck? This fight
That was actually a bad. That was also just a bad show in general.
It's just trash. And then like sometimes when we've seen like, was it Ren and Saito? Or was it Ren and Dominator? I don't know. There's been a couple of ones where it's been a bit like, like when some of the fights haven't delivered.
How about this? The kickboxing tournament with Cozy and Taiju main event.
Yeah,
that whole show
Mm.
was maybe the worst major Rizin show of all time.
Probably the weakest. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, I would say worst. I would go as far as it like everything was like that show, and also we got WCW to I forgot whatever it was. We didn't get the main event. It cut out because Go Live now had that weird thing where like the show was like split up into like and it like went over the 3-hour part. So
yeah, it's funny. Oh man, the amount of different platforms they've tried, right? Like I'm so glad they've got this Rizin TV thing down because some of the stuff was
Combat Sports Today, by the way, is in the house. Appreciate it.
Sweet. Yeah, I love their updates. They always like do great updates on Instagram and Twitter, right?
You have a question from buddy Jay Chris, Jim.
Jay Chris.
What do you hope Rizin should do next year to become a top 5 promotion?
Are they not a top 5 promotion right now?
I was about to say that. I would definitely at least say, but
I would say it.
I'll let you answer. The question was to you.
What could they do next year? That's a really tough question because the one you got to look at it as like domestic and international, right? It's almost like two separate questions.
That's Chris is kind of stealing my thunder, but I was about to say my last question at the end of the show was gonna be, what do you see Rizin in 10 years? I was gonna ask you that, but this one might be a little bit easier.
Okay. What could they do? I think it's really hard to say right now because I feel like they're doing quite a lot well.
What do you think of what CST says of signing more
American European talent? I mean, yes, but does it resonate that well with Japanese fans? I mean, it kind of does if they become a star. I think it takes like there's like specific personalities, or they have to be like just like really, really good. I would probably say what they could do is probably lock people down to contracts, to be honest, because they've got quite a good
pull one.
No, not a one, but make like really good offers for them to stay, right? Like Shaduliev, right, is obviously a star, and the way he fights is great, but everyone's like, oh my god, he's going to UFC. When's he going to UFC? When's he going to UFC? If you could keep that guy and have him like be the next Fedor, Sabatello is definitely a good signing because he kind of talks the talk, right? And he looked great in his debut fight. So yeah, let's hope that he doesn't have a stinker though with what's his name, Sato.
So, and this was if you remember in the Discord we brought up that Rizin isn't going to sign guys who are like 170, 185. I think that also applies to a lot of just generally American Eurofighters. Because also, right, so when we talked about like the transition of Rizin, kind of like this like international cornucopia, I think they're kind of a little bit like that now, but I still think it's a Japanese-centric promotion, which is Japanese versus Japanese, Japanese versus foreigner. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where they want the foreigner to win, but 9 out of 10 times, I think they want the Japanese guy to go over. And I don't see anything. There's nothing wrong with that. Rizin wants to show. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's the story, right? It's an age-old story that continues to get told and continues to do very well. How does a Japanese person do it?
Kimura versus Ricky Dozan. I don't know, and Inoki versus Gotch was it called, or Billy Robinson, whoever he
Yeah,
faced.
Inoki versus
But
Ali, right?
it's the idea is to show the strength of Japanese. Oh, that too as well. Well, not a good example, but an example. It's to show the strength of Japanese martial arts. It's to show
Yeah,
that Japanese are great and strong, and that they are that they are. I'm gonna simplify, but good at the sport. And but with all due respect, a lot of them are still getting mauled by foreigners at this point,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. Can't.
it's
It's like that.
yeah,
I think you know what is
it's
interesting
and
is sorry. Go. Oh, I was gonna
yeah,
say,
go ahead. Sorry.
seeing guys like Akimoto, where he's so young and seems very talented, gives you a bit of hope for the future. But there's definitely been some setbacks, right, with how a lot of these guys have performed either outside of Ryzen or
Yeah,
you like look at Kai, right? Like in the UFC, that has not gone to
yeah,
plan. So,
yes. I think, but also with Akimoto's case, he's losing to guys like Yuki Motoya, and now he's
mm,
he's gonna be facing Hagiwara next. Listen, you know, Hagiwara can knock him out. That's the thing. Hagiwara can knock him out. I don't know if he chooses to grapple, then yeah, then Akimoto will win, but fight start on the feet.
I'm calling it.
But
I think he steamrolls Hagiwara. I think
even
he
in a
will just.
striking,
I think he'll walk right. I mean, no, Hagiwara is a good striker, but I think he will just like take him down, sub him. Um,
mm-hmm.
that's
So
yeah.
also,
It's a good fight. It's a really good fight.
yeah. Jay Chris brings up an interesting point. He think it'd be fun to get Verizon to get more American, Euro, and African talents, but Jay Wolf, they got no science first change to
Yeah.
superior rules rather than unified rules. So about that. So right now, PFL is doing their Europe shows, they're doing their Africa shows, and UFC is doing Road to UFC. The other thing also, and um, Shu Hirata talked about this on CJ's show on Let's Talk JMA, is that a lot of these fighters like will hold out to wait for a UFC contract. They will turn down a Rizin or wherever if it means going to like getting a spot on contenders or a late notice replacement. So the idea is great. And I I think see when a lot of those fighters who they got way back, like when Rizin first started, I think a lot of them watched Pride. They were old enough to have seen Pride, and some never got to fight in Pride. When they got an offer to fight in Japan, it was kind of like almost living like, oh, I watched Pride on DVD or Direct TV, or whatever. I get to fight there. You now have fighters who are young, who have oh, they were born after Pride ended. Some of them.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
They've never seen Pride.
Mhm.
Their only thing is UFC that they've seen. It's the same thing with like WWE for a while. It's starting to change now a little bit, but that's the monster you have to face. Is just for a while it was only UFC for a bit,
Mhm.
and that's what these guys only saw. And I listen, it sucks you, but like you're gonna are you gonna sign with Google or are you gonna sign with a tech company that's been around for like 10 years that you know nothing about? I think that's
Yeah, I
gonna
think the only thing is right is that Ryzen does like have really good opportunities for fighters to make a shitload of money, right? Not just Japanese talent. Like if you can become that foreigner that they want to see, and you get sponsorship deals and all sorts of stuff outside of it. Like if you actually look at like back in the day, like guys like Don Fry, Bob Sapp, like the amount of money they made through like just other activities in Japan,
yeah.
it's screaming out for like a foreign talent
Yeah.
to go in and mop up. Like it could be like Sabatello, right? Like he could go in, become like the top foreign heel. Like
Yeah.
he's got the chance to do it. So like someone needs to do it, because when these guys are like, oh yeah, we'll hold out and we'll wait for like go through contender series and stuff like that. Like don't get me wrong, I enjoy the UFC, but like the chances of becoming a star in the UFC get harder and harder and harder every year. Whereas in Ryzen, the talent level is still like, it's still progressing. So I don't know, but
we're getting a lot of things in the chat, so let me
cool.
go back up. Let's see.
You still haven't even done the list yet from King Silo.
Oh my god, yeah, we'll get that in a second. Reese McLaren would be a bad sign. I said he would be the only one that would possibly go to Rizin. And then CST says guys like Jared Brooks, who fought in Rizin a long time ago. Rug,
definitely.
Malikan, and even the Lee brothers would be great additions. Yeah, I know when one goes under, I have no idea what's going to happen with the Lee family. I have no idea because they've been tied to one since the beginning, and I don't know what.
Well, you say that, but like Angela's doing a lot of stuff with the UFC. Like her charities is supporting the UFC. So
okay. I didn't know that. Rizin needs to sign exclusive contracts. I get it, but I'm also happy that they don't.
I know what you mean. It's crazy sometimes when you see like a deep card, you're like, fucking hell, look at all these guys back on deep. It's like,
yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah. I wouldn't want it to be like one, but I do think that they kind of have to have some muscle. Like, I'm sorry, like Weili Zhang, okay, you're injured. We're gonna roll over your fight to another show. You don't just let him go after an eye injury or a shoulder injury, whatever she had, and then let her go. I think there's gotta be a middle ground. I think Rizin is, but because no other major promotions are kind of like that, Rizin is kind of like the best at it right now.
Yeah, I think what they should do, right? If you're gonna let guys go fight in deep or deep jewels, like promote it so that you can follow that fighter's journey. Because if they are truly like a Rizin fighter, then we want to know how they're getting on.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about some best of. King Silo was nice enough to make this PowerPoint chart, whatever, of his top 10 fights. I don't know. Did you make a list yourself, or
I didn't make a list. I had a few of my favorite knockouts, a few of my favorite subs, and then I've obviously seen like the majority of the fights on this list, so we can give a bit of commentary on what.
Great. Well, we already talked about Tenshin Horiguchi, and he also he judged he put in lead up excitement, back and forth, rewatchability, all that stuff. So I definitely feel I would put Tenshin Horiguchi as like number 3, number 4, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's top 5
because also as a fight, it was so technically good.
It was a great fight.
And the thing is that a fight with that could have been like, it could have been boring. It could have been a one-sided show, but like a one-sided affair. But with Horiguchi looked good in his first pro kickboxing match. It was just that what if Horiguchi is the first to beat Tenshin? What happens if Tenshin, can Tenshin actually hit Horiguchi? It was really like, and they have both been. I think they. I don't think. Yeah, they were both undefeated. Up to that point, I believe. I don't think Mayweather happened yet. I don't think Mayweather Tenshin.
Tenshin was definitely Tenshin was undefeated.
It was post Rodtang. It was definitely post Rodtang, which was like the toughest fight that Tenshin had at that point.
Because wasn't it New Year's Eve this year that Tenshin fought Mayweather? I think.
Yes.
Gooch has obviously lost in the UFC.
Yes.
But I was looking at his rating. Excitement 3.5. I mean, I'd have that higher just because the crowd was so into it as well.
Yes. Also, here's the interesting thing about that card or that show. That was the same show that there was a tsunami. So they had this was supposed to be the main event. They had this though, like in the middle of the show, and then had like the bottom. They basically went opposites. They had this like number 5, number 6 intermission, and then Jake Kuhn Jiri main evented.
Yes. God, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yes. Also want to say as a as a moment, the Ersan tribute that
Oh, that was
Miyu did.
Ryzen 13, right?
Yes, yes, that
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, because Miyu was
She beat
fighting.
Annie Nguyen, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks after, right? He passed.
Yeah. Oh,
R.I.P.
here's what Furuhata said. The day of tension Horiguchi typhoon. It was a typhoon.
There you
Eventually,
go.
it was nothing but due to the stop of the train at 9 p.m. They had to. They it was they made it earlier. And then Mikuru got pushed out later. Oh, this is when Mikuru was still undercard Mikuru.
Yeah, yeah. Spiky hair.
Number 9, Lindsay Van Sant versus Reina, a rematch from Bellator, by the way.
Hmm.
That
So
Lindsay Van Sant won in Reina's first Reina where I think the meme of Reina in a cage losing started.
yeah, I don't know if I'd have it on my top 10 because I feel. Would you have it in your top 10?
It was so I rewatched it. It's pretty one-sided. I can't
Mm.
really it was an intriguing rematch, and I like when Rizin kind of does that. We're like, okay, you two fought either in deep or you fought in whatever. We're gonna do the rematch here. I like that, but I
Mhm.
think it was once it was too one-sided in Reina's favor, to really like be like, oh, this is she got some takedowns, but it was just like there was no sense of threat from Van
Mm.
Sands in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at number 8 already, if I'm
Oh,
honest.
sorry.
'Cause no,
Um,
no, only because that was an
yeah.
absolute like the lead up to this fight was like.
Was this the first one? No, this is the second one. This is the second one. Yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Do you remember this is
Yeah.
when they were like throwing the water bottle at him, right?
Yes, yeah. This is this was I don't know. I think in hindsight though, I might let's see. I liked Mikuru Kleber more than a lot of people.
Mm.
But I have no problem with this. I have no problem with
Mhm.
this being where it is. Sport impact, lead up, excitement. Definitely, I was definitely like the rematch was, especially because the first one is non-canon. Um,
Mhm.
I would definitely. I think it definitely has a high rewatchability.
Yeah, yeah, and there was so much going into that fight as well with like because the previous fight, the weight cut,
Yes.
the missed the weight, and
Yeah.
then yeah, there was good smack talk leaking into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's hope that Chihiro comes back though in One Piece for his
Yes,
next
and then
fight.
even the story continues, right? They were training together, so
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So this is Pitbull versus Tofik. This was the finals of the lightweight Grand Prix, which I think we can agree that was probably the. I don't know. Would you say that was the best Grand Prix that they've had so far?
Well, the lightweight Grand Prix,
Yeah.
probably bantamweight was not bad, but everyone got injured after, and it kind of fucked it up after.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you talk about the Hiromasu Okakubi one?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Was that 2023?
No, that
2022?
was that 21. I think that was 21.
Oh, 21. Fucking hell.
It
Okay.
was kind of like that one was good more so for the ending.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why Ryzen doesn't do one day the same day
Yeah.
tournament anymore because
Sorry,
the guy was
Wolfie.
supposed to win.
um,
I would make the one that Horiguchi won. I could maybe put on there, but also there was some really shit matches on that.
yeah, I was gonna say there was some real sleepers especially in the early rounds, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes, you're probably right. I probably think this lightweight was probably the best Grand Prix.
yeah. So yeah, Pitbull versus Tofik. I'm pretty sure this is the Pitbull that's fighting in Ryzen now. I still get them confused like Chihiro does. So, um, yeah, no, this was a good fight. This was a great fight and especially like the Grand Prix, they both like mauled their opponents. Gustavo and for Pitbull, I think it was Case for Tofik. That was on this day as well. It was just kind of like a big like what if. I should say, oh
Mhm.
yeah, it was kind of like an unintentional dream fight almost because it was like
Yeah.
just could Pitbull knock out this guy who's been steamrolling everybody, or
Mm.
what's Tofik gonna do? Like this is obviously like the toughest fighter he's ever probably gonna face at the time because Pitbulls at that time they were a lot different now than they
Yeah.
were now.
Yeah. You think the Bellator
You
rep was
feared
real
the
bad.
the Pitbulls were
Yeah.
feared.
Yeah.
They were yeah
100%. And it's kind of shit, right? Because a lot of the Pitbull fights in Rizin have not been the
yeah.
best, right?
Now,
Like,
both these guys are losing in their in their fights in their most
yeah,
recent fights. So it's funny how
not,
things have changed. Funny how things have
yeah,
changed.
it's true.
But also, I think what the sport impact, I think it's high because it led to Tofik. It led to this Japanese Azerbaijan kind of like the
Mhm.
Ryzen getting these fighters from Azerbaijan. They did the first international show in Azerbaijan as well. So I think if you don't like the fight, I think its impact on the sport, or at least on Ryzen, is really high.
Mm. Yeah, I agree because that tournament was a big deal.
And also, not to mention, they brought Tofik over, one of the few foreign fighters they brought over during the pandemic. So Tofik was high on their list of people who they like
Mm.
for that to happen. To be put in a hotel room for 14 days in Japan
Yeah, yeah, right.
and then get choked out by Satoshi. Um, sorry, I lost my.
Number
Here it is.
6.
Yeah, number 6, Souza versus
Ah,
McKee.
love this
Good
fight.
choice. Good
Yeah,
choice.
I saw
Now,
this.
yeah. What do you think? Do you now? I don't think I've ever asked you. Who do you think won this fight? Because I know that people differ, but I watched it. I didn't watch it 49 times like Luke Thomas does, but I watched this fight probably at least 3 times. First, I watched it on the replayed on Showtime. I did watch it live, initially, uh, through Japan means I'll say. And
Mhm.
then we watched it again, like, after. What do you think? Who do you think won this one?
So I watched this live in
Oh, yes, you were
person.
there live, so
I
you have a
was, yeah,
better
we were actually
perspective
like
than everybody.
Ensign was trying to get leave like get to the car quickly
Yeah.
because of the traffic. So we were like, "Oh, let's watch it from the stage." So we watched it from the stage. And I had Souza winning, to be honest. Now I haven't
Mm.
rewatched this fight in a long time, but I remember at the time I felt like, "Oh, I think Souza's done enough." Um, I'd have to go back and watch it again, but at the time I had it for Souza, but I know I think majority of people felt McKee was a fair decision, but
Yeah.
what did you how did you have it?
So at first I thought on initial viewing, I thought Satoshi won.
Oh, you
When I
did?
rewatched it on the Showtime thing, I would not be opposed to a split decision. But so what really made me think, well, Luke brings up. I don't think I've seen you in a while, Luke. Thank you for coming by. One of those fights where either winning would have been fine. There was definitely some weird judging in this on this entire show, and I
Mm.
know it was like we were joking in Discord. Like it felt like they were being way too nice with the guests, and we're like the foreign guests, foreign Kyoji,
Yeah,
the
and then
Bellator guests.
but you gotta remember at this point, it was already 4-0 in the show. So
Yeah,
it's like, how
but
nice do
here,
you wanna be?
so this all. I'm assuming it was Rise and Rules that I believe it was Rise and Rules that
Oh,
they judged. So in that case, McKee did a lot more damage. This is when damage actually mattered.
mhm.
Apparently, it doesn't matter anymore to the judges, even if you're like bleeding all over the canvas. But at this time, and the most that Satoshi looked good was when he backpacked McKee for like I
Mm.
think it was a second round. I think it was, but McKee was in no danger. You could see this guy knew what to do to defend against the choke. But McKee outstruck him, had to be like 15-1, 20-1, and did more visual damage. So I think McKee won.
Mm.
I know it sucks that it was like kind of Ryzen get one fight to win, but you know,
The
no.
in the building, like this fight and the Takeda fight,
Mhm.
were the 2, like, ones with it. Actually, even the Sucho Kim fight was pretty loud as well, but I remember the Souza fight and the McKee fight being really loud, but and when Takeda did that comeback against Kadizi, I can never say
Yeah.
his name. That was huge in the building. But
By the way, who just lost to Alfie Davis of all people recently at PFL?
who watches PFL? Come on.
Oh, everybody does. Number 5, Catfish, Cozy, MMA. This is MMA, by the way, not
Sport Impact
kickboxing.
1.0. Lead up. It should be a 5.
Yeah, lead up was like 11, maybe.
Yeah, so good, so good. Love it. Love that whole.
I think, and back and forth as well. Rewatchability high, excitement high. I don't know, Sport Impact, because it showed Catfish can kind of. So Rise is doing this thing now where they're having kickboxers fight each other in MMA, which I think is fun.
Yeah, me too.
But I think when they actually fight actual MMA fighters, that's when it kind of fails. Maybe Yaman is the exception. Maybe. But when Catfish, this kind of, I don't know, did it start? Was this really this? This may have been the first like kickboxers to MMA, but fighting each other in kickboxing fights that Rizin did. I think. I don't know. Well, actually, no. I think Anpo and Kubo fought each other, but that was in K1. But I think these two fought each other in Rizin. So I don't know. I feel like there's some. There's got to be some sort of impact. There has to be, like, right?
Yeah, I think
one is too low.
Yeah, I'd have to look at his criteria again for Sport Impact, but I don't know. I love that fight. It's a fun fight, man.
Yes. Oh, amazing.
Definitely should be top 5 for sure. Fucking recency bias, but this fight is sick.
Yeah, fucking great fight. I still think Dopek won. Another one that was a controversial ending. I'm not sure say ending, but decision. No, I thought Dopek did. I think he outstruck. See, here's the thing: Chihiro throws so much, you almost think that he's connecting. He's kind of like Nate Diaz, where Nate Diaz is will just throw so much, you think that he's like actually, and like maybe 2 or 3 are getting in.
Punches get lost in that crazy blonde hair, like
yes, yeah. the crazy overhand right that he spams.
Yeah.
No, I think Dopek won that. I think he won it clearly, in my opinion. I would make an argument that maybe Yaman was closer to beating Dopek than Suzuki was beating Suzuki. I would say. I don't know. You have any thoughts?
I just love this fight. Is it top 5? Let's look at his honorable mentions and
okay. Oh Jesus.
That's a lot.
This is a lot.
Jerry Bruno. We won't go into all of them. Kai Manel, some good shouts there. Kai Horiguchi.
I'm offended that he put Bob Sapp and Osunarashi as an honorable mention. That should be like
Wait, why is Heavyweight Grand Prix not there? No, I'm joking.
Oh. That's number 1, of course.
Wow, yeah.
That's number 1, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he probably is top 5, to be honest. Like, I was thinking I might be being biased because it's so recent, but yeah.
I don't know. I would put some of these like on the actual list. Like, I put Hamazaki Ham there on like the actual list.
Yaman Koji.
Gomi Gillard again. That's in-person bias because I was there. So, and I actually shit on that fight, like when they announced it, because I'm like, what the fuck? Why? But like the pop that Comey got when he knocked him out was like, I think it's one of the loudest pops I've ever heard.
Really? Wow.
For any show, pro wrestling, MMA, whatever. TK versus James Thompson, one of those era of Rizin fights.
I don't know if I even have an honorable mention.
I don't know. I put TK versus oh god. Sumo a karate guy. Forgetting his name already. He just lost to a Soldado.
Oh, Ueda.
Yeah. I put that there because I think that was because that was in that
It was
one
kind of
round,
crazy.
remember he almost got knocked out, but
Yeah.
survived, then wound up knocking
Yeah.
out. So I think that I would put that there.
Fun fact: James Thompson from the same city as me, Bristol.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Shy
proper
feels
Bristol accent as well.
was he ever in Skins?
I don't know, probably not. But I did
Oh,
bump into him in a casino once, and
oh,
he was pissed because he lost loads of money. So he was not in a good mood. This was about
I'm sure he's not
15,
an easy guy to miss.
and
Kind
it
of
was probably about
obvious.
like 20 years ago or something. So
Oh, okay. Was that
uh,
was that before his ear exploded against Kimbo?
I'm trying to think whether it was before or after the Kimbo fight. I can't remember. Let's
Ah,
talk about Nemkov
yeah,
Jerry.
yeah. Nemkov Jiri. I mean, it's a. Have you watched it? It's an interesting fight. Like just seeing those two at that time.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of crazy when you look back at it now,
Yeah,
knowing like what happened in the
and
future.
like so when I was talking about like how Rizin kind of like was this international cornucopia, like this is what I'm
Mhm.
talking about. Like I don't think we would get this fight probably now. I feel like unless it was a Grand Prix fight. I don't think it was a Grand. Was this a Grand Prix fight? Actually, was that part
Yeah,
of the heavyweight?
it was, yeah.
Oh, okay. I still think right. Well, because they did Jiri and Capoloza, Jiri, Hugh. They were just doing kind of like these. I don't want freak show fights, whatever. But like, I think this. I like this because it's just kind of like it was just cool to see that Rise would just find all these fighters, and you knew these guys were fucking special, and
Mhm.
just seeing them like, yeah, I don't feel like the closest they've gone is with Shaduliev, maybe.
Mm.
But we know the only thing that sucks is that we know that he's gonna go to UFC at some point. Like you ever
Yeah,
knew Nemkov, Jiri, maybe they'll go to Bellator, maybe they'll stick in Rising because
yeah,
Jiri was
definitely.
in Rising a long time.
Long time. Yeah, what, at least 5 years, I think?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Still the light heavyweight champion as far as I know.
I think I wanna hear what people think of number 2 and number 1 because
Okay.
when I saw these, I was like, "Ooh."
Um, number 2, Yuki Ito versus Tony Laramie. That's a great fight.
It was a great fight. It was a great fight.
But would you say was it a great fight because Laramie could not be put down? He had so much grit. Because I don't know if I would put the back and forth that high because I think
Mm.
Ito pretty much dominated, I would say 85% of the fights.
What would you say 85 was? High as that?
I would go, yeah, because Laramie got some shot. He had one good moment. I think it was in the third round, but he it was so much. It was just so much. Laramie was taking so much damage, but not
Mm.
going down, which made it, I think, a much like a fun, like a really fun fight.
See, it's really hard to like because King Su's done a really good job with like
Yeah.
showing all the different scoring metrics of what he's kind of put into it. And whilst
Yeah, yeah.
this fight is really good, it's hard for me to not put something like a tension versus Horiguchi higher than this because just like hearing the crowd and getting so amped up and
Also, it's just such a technical fight as well, and it felt there was always that maybe this be the knockout moment,
Mhm.
you know. This fight was kind of just like there. I don't want to say
Yeah,
it was. Don't want to say, but that I'm not. That's not.
it
But
was
like
a flyweight fight. Fighting for a place in the Grand Prix almost, right? They were trying to
I think
make
so.
a
I
good
think
impression. I don't think it was like that was stipulated, but that was kind of, do a good fight and you could end up in the Grand Prix.
yeah, and it
Um,
only happened to one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, we want to see both guys in, right?
Yeah,
So,
and then it doesn't matter because Ito got eliminated anyway. Actually, you want to talk
yeah.
about dumbest moments in Rising? That might be it. I might put that down as like one of the dumbest things. Because I still have yet for somebody to make a logical argument why that should have that happens.
Yeah, I
Why
know what you
like
mean.
that vote should have happened, right? Are
Yes.
you? Am I
No, no, I
crazy?
agree. I agree. I agree.
Um, let's go to number
Number one.
one.
Number
Number
one.
one, Ito versus Kunta. Almost said the bad word there. Hashimoto. What do you think? Have you ever watched this fight before? This is
Yes,
this
I
was
have. I remember
Ryzen.
what funny enough, I watched it live watching Ryzen 31, right?
I think this was this pandemic? This might have been pandemic era Ryzen, I believe.
Yeah, it was. It was. This is, yeah, definitely because I rewatched this fight, right?
Yeah.
And I was because I was
If,
looking at it
if
like, how
everybody's
could
wearing masks in the audience, and you're like, oh, okay, this is pandemic era.
well, I'll say to give King Cedar his credit, right? Like I looked at this and I was like, this is number one. How could this be number one? And then you watch it and it's like the fucking best fight.
Yeah,
But it's dead because I'm pretty sure it was like no clap or like like when it was those audiences where it was
yeah.
there was like
Don't make noise.
yeah, there
Discourage
was
noise.
barely anyone there. It's like all spaced out. Whereas and it doesn't have the heat of like I was talking about earlier as some of like the bigger stars, but the actual fight itself is so good.
Yeah. Hashimoto retired, became like a
Yeah,
salary man after this. Ito has not fought on Rizin since. I
I
don't know
know,
why.
right? Like
That's one of the greatest mysteries to Rizin.
that's why
It's where the light heavyweight belt is, and why hasn't Ito been allowed back, or why doesn't he want to fight again in
the
Rizin?
thing is though, if you actually look at it, just the action, I could totally see why he's gone with this as number one. Like if you purely look at it
Yeah.
on like the action that happens in the fight, I totally get it.
Yes.
And if people haven't like gone to Ryzen TV and watch it, it's a banger.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, great list by him.
We have a question from Rizin Will Die. Would you say any of these fights are actual classics fights though? Rizin existed for a decade, but you can argue none of these fights are absolute all-time great fights, and other promotions had better fights. Our classic fight, but
it's a tough one, isn't it? Because like what makes a classic fight?
Like we now say that like Fedor versus Crow Cop was a classic, or Fedor versus Nogueira was a classic fight because I think time kind of made that. I'm sure people lauded it when it came out, but
the actual fight, yeah. I okay, put it this way, right? Like Sengoku had what? What's his name? What's the Misaki and Santiago?
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Huge for like everyone remembers it. Like if you watch Sengoku, you remember that fight. So that's probably like what I'd compare it to. Like, do they have anything like that? I don't know. Maybe not. Like
Can you say maybe? I saw like one guy who we follow each other. It's Stamkos, big MMA fan, raved about, called Cozy Yaman MMA match the best MMA match.
that was fun.
That I think of that year that it happened when it did. I think that could go down as a classic fight over time.
Yeah, maybe. But I know what he means though. Like no one seems to talk about any particular Ryzen fight as like that classic fight. Whereas other promotions, like okay, say like Strikeforce, Diaz Daily, like that comes to mind, right? Like WEC
Diaz versus KJ Noons.
Yeah, the brawl, right? WEC, you think of like Pettis and Henderson, and with the Showtime kick, and like UFC, you think of there's quite a few, right? But Ryzen, I don't always think that I think about the moments more than I do the fight sometimes, I guess. But
I know, yeah. I mean,
fine.
we'll see. Maybe another 10 years we can actually say something like that. But it's I also think just the way that people look at fights now, it's kind of more moments in fights rather than the overall fights. I think just how we consume media as well. Like the days of like Bonner, Griffin,
yes,
Ortiz, what's he? Couture, Ortiz. I know some people consider that classic. Brock, Frank Mir, the first one. I just don't think. I think individual moments kind of like if
trump over it. Yeah.
Like tension getting beat up by Floyd Mayweather, maybe could be considered a classic moment in our current media landscape.
You got moments, right, versus actual
Gabby Garcia and Hota as well.
It's a good segue though. I was going to ask you what you think are the top LOL moments. What were the funniest moments in Ryzen?
Brandon Halsey falling out of the ring had me dying when he fought Jiri.
Yeah, that was good.
I watched Do you remember also when I think it was Jair Rosenstruck fought, and like he
Yes.
greased before his fight, and they were like wiping him down
Yeah.
because he had
Yeah. I forgot all about that.
and then he somehow wound up out grappling his opponents. I have no idea how. I think it was Dalia. Did he fight I think it was Dalia that he fought, and he somehow out grappled Dalia somehow. It was a terrible fight. It's one of the worst fights in Rizin of all time. I mean, yeah, there's like
there's a lot, right? Like the top one I had on my list was Flowergate, but we kind of discussed that
yeah,
earlier. Like that
yeah.
was funny. I had Sarah as in as in
Oh yeah,
Kuba,
yeah.
like absolute gem of best entrance of all time. Come on, Yuta Kubo singing her heart out. And just that whole thing has just been hilarious. Also, speaking of wives, you remember the kickboxer Sega and how his wife would like come into the ring, like when Tension knocked him out, and she would like come in and like be like Taijobu, Taijobu, and he's like completely out cold. Like that
Yeah.
is was just classic. They'd always show his wife.
I think the Chihiro getting the bottle thrown at him by Ren was also hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say just some of the smack talk, right? Like what did he
Also,
call Yarman?
yeah. Also,
Crater face, was it? Something like
yes,
that?
Crater Face. Yeah. Also, we can't forget Felony Bennett after he knocked
Oh,
out Kimura.
oh, hey, that's the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy, especially like the build
Everything that
up,
happened.
Mandalay entrance, like everything involved in that
Yeah.
was,
Well,
yeah,
also,
if you look
so
at it,
about the Gabby thing as well, when she had to apologize for missing weight,
yeah,
there is this one quick cut to Wanderlei, and you see him like on his phone, like recording like this. That to me is the funniest thing. Just him, just like recording that for his own enjoyment.
it's funny, like seeing if you go back and watch old Ryzen, people will be shocked that like Vandalay was like always there at like
Yeah,
every show and then never even competed at the end of
yeah.
it. Like, do you know what I mean? That's funny in itself. And then I'm conscious of time because I know you got to get out of it,
Yes.
right? But
Oh,
I was
I appreciate it. You
was
can
going to
do.
ask you about knockouts. If but we know we can maybe
Oh,
do
I
that
mean,
later on.
let's see, Kyoei Hagiwara's. Well, remember that one knockout where he knocked out the guy and like was gonna like right at the split second was gonna stomp on him. I
Mhm.
think that's right up there. Oh God, I'm trying to think.
I have 3 that come to mind, so
Okay,
maybe this will prompt
yeah,
you. So I
yeah.
had Chihiro and Pitbull, right? Because of
Okay,
like
yeah,
the impact that had,
yeah,
like that gave him legitimacy and
yeah,
a lot of fighters, right?
yeah.
I've obviously got to rep the team, right? Team Yamato Damashi. Kimura not getting knocked out, but when he knocked out, do you remember Daryl Lukoku? And his
Yes,
body just like stiffed up and he just
yeah.
like went out.
Okay,
Amazing
yeah.
knockout. And then my final one was Patrick Usami versus Baynoa because I was there in
Oh,
person and oh my god, I thought I'd witnessed a murder in real life. It was so savage when he went out.
I guess I'm gonna be the team Yamato Damashi hater. Listen, when Kimura got knocked out by Buakal, like that was
Yeah,
crazy.
that was crazy actually. Yeah.
That was yeah. Let's see, knockouts. I think I already said Hagiwara. Um, let's see. I'm speed running through my brain my folders right now.
Or go
My
subs if
brain.
you want. Like any subs that stand out to you, like any sort of
Oh,
finishes.
Tubbs, listen. When Tanner Lorenko choked at that guy with his own gi. Remember that? Remember that fighter who came out with the gi? And it's like, why would you do that for an MMA fight?
Yeah.
Kleber's heel hook thing, the Archuleta, which I still have
Mm,
no idea how he did that. I watched.
mhm,
I've done like pause and hands, pause and hands. I still have no idea how he has. That is beyond high level grappling. That like
mm.
only somebody like Kleber would know.
You you
Uh,
you you clearly you do jiu-jitsu because you've gone for like the skill, whereas mine was more like I had Connor and Reina
yeah,
when because when she got the rear naked choke, like the crowd just went nuts, right? It was such a
Yeah.
huge upset. So
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely that.
Hmm.
Question. We were gonna ask you this: where do you see Ryzen in 10 years?
Oh, do you know what? I hate that question.
Sorry.
Because I get scared because right, like they were talking. I don't know if you remember, it was in a confessions episode, like maybe a year ago or something. And Saki Kabara was saying something like originally he signed up to, he was gonna
Yes.
say he was gonna do 10 years and then be
Yes.
done.
Yes.
So we're like, wait a minute, it's 10 years. Like what's gonna happen? So I would say if that happens and he does walk away, you might see more of a sport-based Ryzen, where it's maybe less of the theatrics and less of the crazy matchmaking.
Yeah.
But I hope not. I hope they carry on with what they're doing. I think it will still be around. I think they'll build on the history of Ryzen more, is what I would say. I think they'll pull into that a little bit more.
My big bold prediction. I think within 10 years they're gonna go. They're not gonna get rid of soccer kicks, but I think they're gonna go unified rules in terms of
No,
judging.
never,
In terms of
never,
judging. In terms of judging. I think they're
never.
gonna get. I think you're gonna have all these
Why?
Japanese
Why would
fighters
they do
who
that?
want to go to UFC. You're gonna have all these American fighters who come
No,
over, and they're gonna be like, we want to, I don't understand the rule
never.
set, and I think they're gonna change to unified judging. They're gonna judge round by round. They'll keep soccer kicks, grounded, whatever, all
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
So keep the
I
rule
think
sets right, but the judging would change.
I think the
I
judging
can
is
see that.
gonna go that way.
I can see that. I don't hate that either.
Because
But
also all the other Japanese promotions don't do that as far they all do I believe unified judging. Pancreas, Shuto. I think Deep does. I still have no idea what Deep does half the time I'm watching. So yeah.
Sayaki is making it up.
Yeah. So that's my big pro prediction that we're gonna see unified judging
Nice.
be the norm. Unfortunately, guys, we gotta go. Jim, I want to give you an opportunity to plug your stuff.
Yes, please. If you want to follow me on X, it's Ozeki_Jim. I do, as Andrew says, the Yamato Damashi podcast, where we talk about Ensign's life, but we also talk about, all the current stuff that's going on in MMA, alongside some of the smaller independent stuff, like breaking down some of the stuff that his team does. So we do a mix. We talk about history, all sorts of good shit. So please check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts. Check out YamatoDamashi.fightgear.com as well. Check out DestinyForever.com, Ensign's Brace Business. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, and everybody, please subscribe if you haven't done this already. Leave a comment. Don't care to say anything in the comments. It helps the algorithm. Apparently, follow on X and all that stuff. You guys all that stuff, and buy the shroom bars for 25% off. Use code WAR. Okay, sorry guys, we got to head out, but we're gonna have a part 2 stream sometime talking more about the best of Ryzen in the near future. TBD. Take care, everybody who tuned in. Appreciate it.